Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, June the 1st, back in the Read Nook on what is a bright and sunny afternoon. In fact, it's 23 degrees here in Birmingham. Nevertheless, I have a nice hot cup of tea and another parcel to unbox, or basically just unpack in this case. So here we go. This is a copy of Earthdawn. This is a copy of Earthdawn First Edition, published in 1993 by FASA Corporation. Earthdawn, the Age of Legend. Before science, before history, there was an age of legend. For years, humanity huddled in underground cares, as the astral beings known as the Horrors ravaged the land in an orgy of terror and destruction. Now the long, dark age of the Scourge is past, and brave adventurers emerged to reclaim their world. Elf, Orc, Shrang, human and other wondrous races explore a world that teems with strange creatures and unseen dangers, a world of lost cities, of ancient, long-forgotten treasures and indescribable wonders, a world where the very earth and sky vibrate with magical energies. In this age of legend, heroes rekindle the glory of days past and become the legends of tomorrow. Join these brave souls and begin role-playing in Earthdawn, the Age of Legend. Now, this it came out in 1993, and at the time, my first response was, why do we need another fantasy role-playing game? But indeed, how wrong I was. Earthdawn was different, and essentially it was a race and class system, but different mechanics, but it had the benefit of having its own setting, essentially a post-apocalyptic fantasy setting where in post-apocalyptic you've survived the disaster, you've sat in your bunker for years, you come out to a whole new world. This is essentially what happens in Earthdawn, but in a fantasy setting. It's really the first fantasy setting to really do that, to really bring the idea that, you know, the apocalypse, whatever the form it takes, doesn't have to be science fiction. And this came out, and it's connected to Shadowrun, but being from the same kind of team means they draw upon the same authors and the same artists. So you page through here and you have lots and lots of fantastic artwork. So that's an Inheritance Troll one, I believe, and the artwork like that is all really good. A nice opening bit of fiction, explains everything. You go into the history, and in the general background, and sort of like explain what's going on. And what's interesting is sort of like the setup of the characters are in Barsave, which is a province of a former empire. And the Empire is far away, and so that's a bit like another role-playing game that FASA did, which was Renegade Legion, where you had the Terran over government, as I recall, and basically the player characters are part of the rebellion in a location far away. And we go on to the major races. So here we go. We have Dwarf, Elf, Obsidian Man, Human, and the artwork is excellent. So it's really very good. And we've got Troll, Orc, Shrang, and Windling as well. So you've got 8 different races in there, and then we get on to creating a character, going through. Just trying to know there's some pre-generated characters, and again, I mean, I keep showcasing the artwork. It's really good. That would look good in so many different role-playing games. that's Theron, the Theron Governor Felru, attended by his familiar and dwindling slaves. So all the artwork is, major pieces are labelled. Troubadours Johnny and Panic practice their discipline. There we go. And every character has a discipline. There's a colour insert, so we have like that. And this is really one of the first role-playing games. It wasn't the first, because essentially the other Shadowrun did it essentially with the different races, and this is following that same format. Again, the colour insert to showcase some of the background, and there's a couple of source books on here. The races are Barsave, which go into the cultures in more detail. Here we've got the trolls and the Shrang. The Shrang are basically notorious as river pirates and as duelists, whilst the trolls are famous for being sky raiders. And so we have what we've got is disciples, as I say, each with their own talents at first, second, third, fourth, and so on, circles up to eighth, which you gain as you go up experience. So we have the archer. Okay, here's an explanation of the discipline. You can combine that with any of the inheritances or races, and then we have an example: elf archer. Basically, we're all ready to play, and then we do exactly the same thing. So, like the orc beastmaster for the beastmaster, and it does this over again and again for each of the disciplines. And what it's doing here essentially is linking the character inheritances to disciplines. They're sort of like that work together most effectively. The optimize, I suppose, is the way to put it. But all of the characters will work with the different races. All of the disciplines will work with the different inheritances. There it is. Sorry, that sneeze has been brewing for a while. Magic, you have elementalists. Then you have illusionists, nethermancers, who are spellcasters who specialise in the magic of the netherworlds. Their magic focuses on the planes, and they access the spirits and creatures that inhabit those planes. We have sky raiders. They're basically troll sky raiders. There we go. As I said earlier, natural inclinations, sword masters, Shrang swordmaster. I'm just going through, and I keep doing this for all of the races. We've got thief, a whittling thief, warrior, obsidian man warrior, weaponsmith, wizard, obsidian man wizard, and so on. And there's a lengthy explanation of the spells and essentially general skills and so on that the characters have. And one of the interesting things about the characters is they will often be facing the horrors that are left over from the age of, basically the age of Scourge, and people don't necessarily trust them because they might have confronted them, and they constantly have to prove that they are not affected by horrors or possessed, and they do that by practicing arts and crafts. So that might be embroidery, for example, or painting or something, i.e. something creative that showcases that they are still themselves. So yeah, we're going to the depths of magic, all the spells going up to some circle. Again, we go on to combat. The layout is essentially clean, tidy, plain. It's exactly what you would expect from a company like FASA, but there's plenty of artwork. There's a guide to adventuring, as well. Let's just see what else we've got in here. I know there's more, because one of the other things you can do in this is part of the adventuring is in a post-apocalyptic setting, you go out and you examine the newfound world. You discover bunkers or underground complexes that have been abandoned because their former occupants have either left or died. In Earthdawn, it's going into the cairns or Kers and finding out who's still there, whether they've been basically horrors have somehow got in and killed the occupants, and so on, and like. It's possible to learn disciplines, and there's a guide to game mastering as well. There's good GM advice, and we go all the way down to goods and services, magical equipment, which is oddly at the back, which is an odd place for it, I think, essentially because the player's going to want to buy some of this. And then treasure. An interesting thing about treasure is that treasure is individuals, the individual items. So there is no +1 sword. There's no multiple bags of holding. There's the counterstaff spell, or a whippy defense, or a frost pouch, and each one of these is represented by a card. And when you play, you've got one of these cards. If you found it, each item is individualized. So, yeah, and these are all explained, and you so on, and you basically have to essentially invest yourselves in them. We've got a short bestiary at the back. Like the Cadaver Man there, and then you've got a colour insert again on monsters. So Earthdawn's gone through like four editions so far. It's still in print, and it's worth tracking down because it's an interesting sort of like high fantasy post-apocalyptic setting. There isn't a scenario in here, which is pointing, but adventures for Earthdawn are really easy to track down if you go somewhere like eBay. And there's a bit of background in here on Fast Save, and what you've got at the back here, last and not least, is the character sheet. I'll just show you that, because that's always just a good idea to show the character sheet so you get an idea of what it's like. There we go. So this is Earthdawn. Now I will review this. I don't know whether I'm going to review this year or next. Probably actually come 1993, to be honest, because that's when it was published. We'll just check that, but I think that was when it came out. Let's have a look. Yeah, 1993. So it's more likely I will do this on the 30th anniversary. The reason I have this now is it's another birthday present. If you've been watching these videos, there's another YouTube reviewer whom I would highly recommend, and that's Bud's RPG Reviews. He does great reviews, and he's got great hands, because that's what you'll see in the reviews. And he does take the time to do them, and they're really professionally done. Unlike these unboxings, which are in no way unprofessionally done, because I just come out here with a cup of tea, my iPad, and a package. So this is for Bud on his birthday, which is this month in June. So happy birthday, Bud. I know that you're going to be disgruntled when you open this, okay? But I wouldn't be sending it to you if I didn't think you would actually find something interesting in here. It's a fantastic fantasy setting. It's a really well done role-playing game. I really like it. I think it's a good early 90s classic, and it's well supported. I actually really like to have another go at playing it, if that was possible. But I think, Bud, that you'll really enjoy this when you dig into it. So happy birthday. I hope you enjoy that. And that's happy birthday from me and Keith and Scott. and Lloyd and Neve and Louise. Okay, so if you have enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook, please click the like button down below. And if you've got any feedback or questions, please do use the comments as well. I do take the time to read them and respond. And lastly, of course, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, please click the subscribe button, and then you'll be notified when I upload a video, and you can see more of me in the garden, in the Nook, with a parcel and a book, and of course, a nice hot cup of tea. Thanks again for watching. I do appreciate it. I'll be back soon with another unboxing in the Nook in the near future. Bye for now.